Let's hit it. Shalom, shalom. Play this video. Copyright Act, 1976. Okay, shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors, salutations to the elders, the apostles, the elder bishops, and the hopeful elect, the few, the remnant. Baal, 1 second, confounded. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans are the true biblical bloodline, Israelites. Confound. As well as the Israelite form of Gentiles that might look like the heathen. That video, I'm gonna just hit a few scriptures that video reminded me of, because that whole video was prophecy, prophetical. Okay, Daniel's 4:17, by the decree of the watchers. All right, the watchers of the angels, they're the directors to the movie. So according to prophecy, everything is going perfectly according to plan. All right, and we filter everything through prophecy. Whether or not, this is theater or not, okay, it's still prophecy, because those nukes are going to get shot off, and you can see the build up. Okay, it's spiritual right now. Okay, the nations are angry, they're waking up. All right, and the devil is being confounded. All right, Satan, all right, the beast man, the serpent, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the small hats. Okay. This is Jeremiah 50. Okay, we're just gonna get a few. If you notice in that video, they had a statue. Donald DJ Trump was in front of a statue. I think he was like some type of beast. Which there's been certain videos coming out from the Iranians making a mockery of Babylon the Great. showing, these billionaires, how the Epstein people, how they worship Baal and they make sacrifices to Baal. Okay. And this is why, according to the scriptures, this place is called Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, the Chaldeans, because in the ancient world, okay, the ancient Babylonians, which there was different, 3 different Babylonian empires. You had Tower of Babel, okay, then you had Babylon, which is modern day Iraq, and now you have Mystery Babylon that the scriptures are speaking about, which is America, the daughter of Babylon. Okay, and these are the gods that they sacrifice to as well. The Chaldeans, high level witches and warlocks, the people, okay, like that movie in The Wizard of Oz. Okay, you people are the flying monkeys, and then the small hat niggas are behind the curtain. The trillionaire families, not billionaires. We're talking about trillionaires, the Rothschilds, all right? And it just came out that the literal word Rothschilds go back to the word red shield, which means Esau Edom, which means the Edomites. Okay, and the word Edomite means red, the red people. So that, like we always tell you, the super elite, the so-called white man, the super elite, they know who they are. Okay, and so do we. We're the true Illuminati, according to the scriptures, not them, because they're the ones that's fighting against prophecy. They think they can overcome prophecy, but they're doing, again, you can rewind and watch the video, but let's read this and move on. Okay, this is Jeremiah 50, because Babylon the Great will lose, all right, the Third World War. Okay, the word that the Lord Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. The prophet Jeremiah, he saw the land of America and he called it Babylon. All right, the word Babylon means great confusion. Okay, this place is just a ball of confusion. It claims to be a God-fearing country, but you could be a homosexual and a tranny. Okay, that's wicked as hell. And the fact that you people accepted that, you act like these people, I just heard some nigga cussing out some Negro, some Latino nigga cussing out a so-called Negro over the Bad Bunny Super Bowl. Like, man, you should understand where we come from. Look, man, this is why the Most High gonna destroy America, man. Okay? Like I said, you people have been so, so many enchantments. Okay? Again, that's why this is called the land of the Chaldeans. Okay? The Chaldeans were a sect of high-level witches and warlocks. Okay? They did things just like they do it today. They deal with astrology. They deal with numerology. They deal with the left hand, sacrifices. Okay? And this is why you people are all into these religions, Christianity. Okay? This is why you're you're free to do whatever the hell you want to do here. Anything wicked, but anything righteous, okay, you'll get hemmed up. All right. It says, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. And that's what we're doing. Okay. So Jeremiah seen the vision and we see it too, because we are the prophets coming back. It says, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken. Okay. So we're not supposed to conceal this. We're publishing it. All right, we go out to the street corners to publish it. That's how serious. Okay, where is that? Psalms. I think that's the 9th or the 8th chapter. Wisdom crieth out within the chief places of concourse, the city gates. That's where wisdom be crying out. If you got the 100% truth, then you're gonna go out and let everybody know. You're not gonna keep it to yourself, and that's how you know that we got the truth and you people don't. And you got a lot of people going out there. Okay, that's set up to teach falsely, okay, deceptively. All right, the scripture, the prophecy also, there's a lot of prophecy going into that. Okay, we're in that time where there's many false prophets. Okay, it says, say Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Now that statue of Baal, you could pretty much say it's all the same deities. Okay, when you go into the Epic of Gilgamesh, going back to the Neo-Babylonian Empire, okay, they had a whole like story and legend and of these different gods, which like one of the top ones was Satan, okay, Baal, okay. So Baal and all of these guys, they're high level demons right up under Satan, okay. It says Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces, and these are the gods that the super elite of this world are using, the ones that's causing all this chaos in the earth that you people are trusting in, okay? The modern day Pharaoh. It says, for out of the north, okay, there shall come up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell there. But let's skip over this part, okay? Because I want to bring this out real quick. Damn, where was that at? And you know, when you go into Daniel's the 8th chapter, when you go into Daniel's the 8th chapter, that speaks about, you know, the past history of the Greeks under Alexander the Great. The Greek, when he came into power, okay, he went into Judea, okay. That's when we were still in our land, and he went to the priest instead of attacking the temple and sacking the temple and mounting up armies. Okay, the priest brought out, okay, the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter, and showed Alexander the Greek that he was, okay, the man that would take down the Persians, okay, and the modern day Iranians are the Persians, okay. But the thing about it, he couldn't penetrate Persia, which is modern day Iran. He couldn't penetrate it. He took certain strongholds, but that land has never been fully penetrated because of the land mass, because of the terrain, the way it's set up. A bunch of mountains, and it's huge compared to America. So if you do mount a ground attack, you're gonna get slaughtered somewhere in the mix, okay. But the only reason why Alexander the Greek was able to accomplish that, because it was prophecy, okay. So he was at peace, you know. He took a liking to the Israelites, you know. But when he died, all right, his predecessors, they rose up against the Israelites. Hence is why the Israelites are not in the land right now, okay, to this very day. It says, yeah, so let's get to this real quick. This is Jeremiah 50 and 43. The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands wax feeble. Okay, these devils, man, they're realizing it's getting real, okay. They're exposed, and everybody got a sword, okay. Esau's blessing is the sword, but everybody got a sword. And you know, his thirst for blood, it actually worked against him, because he weaponized all these nations, okay. And a lot of that shit just got leaked out, but ultimately he financed a lot of these nations, okay. But we're in a time that the Lord is you know, pretty much like ancient Egypt. He's pulling off these plagues, and it's starting from the inside out, okay. The spirit, the mind of the people, okay. So the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands are waxed feeble, okay. Supposedly, you know, it's not supposedly, the Strait of Hormuz is blocked off, and that's a major defiance and embarrassment to Babylon the Great, America, okay, because the whole world is looking at this, all right. That's why it says in Joel the 3rd chapter, let the weak say I'm strong. You know what I'm saying? Let the weak say I'm strong. It says the king, yeah. So all right, okay, the Lord got the Revelation 17 spirit. Okay, let me get that real quick. Let me run there real quick. Okay, all right, the Lord is injecting the thoughts into these nations, and again, the so-called white man Esau's, the demons he worship ain't demoning. All right, they're gonna give him this last go with this mark of the beast, but he ain't even gonna be able to accomplish it. All right, It says 17, for Yahweh or God hath put in their hearts, which their minds, to fulfill his will and to agree. All right, so the only reason why America is isolating itself, but the only reason it's not destroyed, because the Lord hasn't put it into, put it into their minds yet. Okay, it says, for Yahweh hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree. So they're in agreement right now with Babylon. But you can see that disannulling of that covenant with death and refuge of lies, as it says in Isaiah. The Lord said he's going to disannul that covenant that these devils and you people are made with death and the refuge of lies. You're going to be swept away when the overflowing scourge passes through. Okay, the Lord is sending punishments and scourges. All right. It says, and give their kingdom unto the beast. So right now, these nations are still kind of bowing down to the beast. NATO, EU, there's still a slight respect, because they don't really want them nukes to go off, but they know that Babylon the Great is just all fluff anyway. This is the homosexual country, man. Okay. It says, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh or God shall be fulfilled. Yeah, and that's the mark of the beast. And they're getting ready to push that. A cashless society. All right. So one major false flag away. And this war is one of them, which doesn't mean that people don't die. Okay. It's all orchestrated through prophecy, through the minds of men. Let's go back to Jeremiah 50 real quick. Call Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 43. Yeah, so the king of Babylon has heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. Them devils are high, man. A lot of them devils are taking drugs. Just think about it. Because these devils be old. And it's like, why you niggas ain't sitting down somewhere? Okay, read up about a nigga named Aleister Crowley. That's who they follow, man. They got legions of demons on them. And so do you people. Until you think it's normal. I'm gonna do a lesson. Okay, I'm gonna do a lesson going into that. The deep in the darkness. We live in the shadows of death. Okay, I forget how I said it. But yeah, the valleys and the shadows of death, man. I'm gonna do a good, Lord's willing, a Tawab lesson on that. Going into this dystopian society as this place goes down, how dark and demonic. You could damn near see the demons on the people now, like hissing at you, and these people don't realize it. Okay, but it says Jeremiah 50, and the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him as pangs of a woman in travail. He can't even really get past Iran. Okay, he just has to keep that image alive, because it's gonna get real, but he can't back down. And he knows that Russia, okay, Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, Russia is a guard. So, you got big bro China and Russia just sitting in the cut. North Korea, like, okay, yeah, let us know when you need us to tag in. They're giving them weapons, intel, all kinds of stuff. And you saw them, you saw how many of those mini mercenary Iranian boats. You see that setup, it's cold. It's going to go into that 1 second. Behold, let's skip down. Okay, and the state of Israel has drawn them out, the least of the flock. All right, among the Edomite hegemony, even Russia and European countries, they're all Edomites, but they're a house divided. But the least of the flock among the Edomite hegemony or power structure are the small hats. They're Edomites too. They're the Amalekites of the Bible. And if you're keeping up, they're trying to stick that name on these other people as a justification to destroy them, because they know that Amalek, Esau, Edom, that's who the Lord Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call JC, is coming back to the earth to bring down. Okay, and putting chains, literal chains. Bill Gates and these guys, they're gonna be in them bunkers. The scriptures speak about it. They're gonna be brought to chains, brought up. See, the prophets are here to bring them up on charges. The judgment is next. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. First the voice of the Lord, then the brightness of his coming. Okay, Independence Day, the true Independence Day. All right, and that's how he's gonna come back. All right, which they took that from the scriptures. All right, and it goes into that in the 45th verse. All right, but I wanted to get one last one last pre. Damn, what was I going into, bro? Because it was going real quick. Damn, I was holding something. Ah, man, it was going into its weapons and shit. But let me get something there, cause I'm forgetting how it says this. 1 second, man. Shishak is taken. How is Shishak taken? 41, Jeremiah 51, 41. How is the praise of the whole earth? Yeah, America, Babylon the Great was the praise of the whole earth. How is Babylon becoming an astonishment among the nations? Okay, all the nations are watching this very closely. You know, and I will, 44, I will punish Baal in Babylon. You see it all through those videos on social media, that the Iranian, what do you call that? Publicity is putting out there, making a mockery of America and their worship of these idols, Baal and Baal, and these holidays. All right, Bacchus, Christmas. You people are worshiping the demon. Okay, Easter, Ishtar. Okay, the Queen of Heaven, the ancient Babylonian holiday. Okay, this is why this is called Babylon the Great. You got a mixture of everything. All right. It says, and I will punish Baal in Babylon and will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up. And like we said, this whole Epstein thing is like a impromptu to their judgment. All right. It's eerie. We didn't know the Lord was going to bring it out like this. All right. This is the reason why they're at war and why they're getting ready to. Because you think about it. Why would they expose themselves? But that's prophecy. And the Lord will cause their tongue to fall upon themselves. Okay, the Lord will lift up the skirt and make bare the leg. All right, and make them bare naked, man. Parabolically speaking. So it's a spirit. It's the watchers, by the decree of the watchers, that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. We're here to tell you, all right, the truth. All right, thus saith the Lord. What the program actually is. You could hear it, or you could forbear, or you could hear us, or it's up to you. Okay, but if you don't, okay, you're going to be judged severely in these last seconds of these last days. It says, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up. Okay, and you hear these devils talking proudly about what they done did and what they gonna do. Okay. The proud, man, pride coming before destruction, and the nation shall not flow together anymore unto him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. See, the nations are standing back. They're cheering for Iran. Like, look, if you throw the first blow, we'll throw the second one. And this whole Strait of Hormuz thing is bully tactic. They're pretty much saying only America and any of their allies cannot pass through. If you pass through, we're gonna blow your shit up. And so you have hundreds of, maybe even thousands of ships that are docked. They can't get through. And Donald Trump has been asking for help. And his allies are like, look, we ain't fucking with it. I think he is beginning to get some help. They just made like a 2-day threat. So we'll see if, all right, what the king of Babylon, what he does. All right. But it says, therefore, behold, the day shall come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land should be confounded. But there's a point. I just want to get to this, but I'm trying to remember where it's at. Should be swifter than yours. Let me get this. Man, I just had the scripture too, man. Like, man, cheers, man. I don't even remember where it was at, man. Their chariots. I can't remember how the scripture says it. I know what I'm looking for. It pretty much says in Jeremiah, let's see if I'm right where. But there was another scripture. I can't remember where I was just at. It was going into the, like in the video, it showed the different, like I said, mercenary, mini tactical boats, the Iranian, and then they showed you whatever type of missile that was, and they showed you a bunch of different things. I would have to play it again, but it was the scriptures speak about it. Okay, I know where I can go. But these are the armory. All of these things are the armory of the Lord to bring down Esau, Edom, ultimately. Okay, which is ultimately talking about those missiles. But let's go here so we can end it. Because the other scripture will be better, but this is okay too. It says, Ezekiel 38, and I will turn thee back, 38:4. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armory, even a great shield, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Okay, and in the ancient world, horsemen and armies and all of that, the armies had horsemen and armor, bucklers, shields, ships and boats, catapult, So the prophets, okay, the prophet Ezekiel saw Babylon the Great. He saw America and he saw the Third World War. Okay, he could just say what he would compare it to in his day, because the modern day horse, it is a tank. Okay, it has a certain amount of horsepower. The shields, okay, all of these, cars and stuff, they have some type of shielding. These military trucks and armors. It says all sorts of armors with bucklers. All right, and it says, I will turn thee back and put into thy hook's jaws. Who is it talking about? When you got to read the first 3 verses. It's talking about Gog and Magog, which is Russia. Okay, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, which that landmass, what this is saying, that landmass over there where the Russians are at, in the ancient world, these were their names. It wasn't called Russia. It was the land of Meshach and Tubal. And literally, it's spiritual. The word, it says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Okay, Gog and Magog, same thing, But the word, the chief prince, when you break that down in the Hebrew, chief means Ra'ash, head or chief, and then prince is Yashar. So you put the 2 words together, Ra'ashar. You see that? Ra'ashar, Russia. So the Lord said he's going to turn back, okay? Turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Okay, remember that NATO and the EU was created as allies, as a defense against the so-called Soviet Union, the old USSR, okay, the old school Russia that had to, I don't know if it was World War I or II, and they had to, there was a lot that took place at the Bolshevik Revolution, where Jake was taken down, and then you got the devil up in there. All right, but Persia, this is 5. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. See, so Persia is modern day Iran. Those are the people. They've received some type of, they're receiving all type of, just lightweight shit right now. Okay, they're guarded. They're totally guarded. It's, they pretty much, their big bros is just like, all right, well, let's see what's happening. So America ain't gonna do nothing. We're gonna see what they're gonna do with because we know that they want this war and they want complete chaos, the elite. All right, so they can bring this system down and bring out the mark of the beast and force you people to take it. Okay, and that's going to force you into the wrath of the Most High. Okay, going to destroy you with that fire and brimstone. Okay, which are those missiles? Because brimstone is a byproduct of immense heat. Okay, Malachi the 4th chapter speaks about that. Okay, the day that burneth as a fiery oven. Okay, that's going to be the day that all these swords, these glittering spears, as the scriptures say, these arrows are shot off from one end of the earth to the other. Okay. It says, be thou a guard. This is 7, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So they're joined by the hip. In the fulfillment of Revelation the 17th chapter, I didn't go there. I guess this would be impromptu. Even America's allies. And we read how the Most High has put it into their hearts to agree right now. Okay, but it says the beast shall hate the whore. The whore is Babylon the Great, and the beast is the EU and NATO, all those alliance countries. Okay, so the so-called white man can't save you, Jake. Okay, you people are riding with the devil. You're stupid, man. How you gonna ride against prophecy? But that's how stupid you people are. A bunch of bots, zombies, and that's one of the lessons I'm finna do. NPCs. Okay, you're a bunch of narcs, a bunch of narcissists, demonic. Okay, you're all parasites, man. You all got legions on you, man, because you won't be healed. All right, you won't be converted and be healed. The law of the Lord converteth the soul. Psalms the 19th chapter. But you people will not hearken to the word of the Lord because you're fucking wicked to your core. Okay. All right, so the Lord is going to show you evil, man. The Lord is going to show you people, and the word evil means bad times. The Lord is going to show you, okay, as much evil as that you could possibly fucking partake in, man, until it fucking slays your ass. Okay. And the Lord knows what you're afraid of. He knows your worst fears, man. Just know that. Okay. This so-called white man is getting ready to try and exterminate 2/3 of our people, man. Why you stupid ass niggas look at us like we crazy? We trying to warn your dumb, goofy ass, man. You stupid, goofy motherfuckers. That's why we treat you and look at you the way we do, man. Okay? Game time is over, man. You're a bunch of fucking clowns, man. The Lord is going to get rid of you. All right? It says, be thou prepared. And I'll play it one more time. You know what? We'll end it there because, like I said, man, I did the lesson to bring out that one scripture because in the video it showed you all the, Iran was kind of boasting on their military technology. And I was just reading something. I can't remember where I was at. It was breaking it down. Like they this nation, they're going to bring out this. They're going to this, that to the this. Their horses should be swifter than theirs. And, But, Khan, man, hey, shalom.